Back. So these are like lecture 18. Okay. Lecture 18 covers network programming. This is the last topic in our course. There are two lectures here, 18 and 19. Notice this topic is very deep and actually quite a large topic of interest. We will cover very little. So the relevant files are here in Blackboard and in Dropbox. Okay, so let's start. A network primer. Okay, so beginning for an introduction to network. Every computer has an IP address. What is IP? Internet Protocol. It is a numerical label assigned to each device connected to a computer network that uses the Internet Protocol for communication. So we are all connected, right? So we have certain protocols. How does your computer send me an email? It has to go via some protocol so that your email to me doesn't reach somebody else. So these addresses are important. So IPv4, V stands for version. IPv4 is an IP address which consists of 4 numbers. Every IP address consists of 4 numbers. This is version 4, where these numbers are separated by dots. Each of these 4 numbers is a number from 0 to 256. Okay, so that is 1 byte. 1 byte is 8 bits. 8 bits is 256. Okay, so 0 including 0, you start until 255. In IP version 4, an IP takes up 4 bytes. Okay, 4 bytes is 32 bits. Now, why 4 bytes? Because your version 4 has 4 numbers, right? Presently, IP version 6 is under deployment and it uses 128 bits. So every computer has a public IP address and a private IP address. Your public IP address, all you have to do is Google search, say my IP address, my IP address. This is the public IP address for my computer. Your computer will have a different public address, but all you have to do is Google search and you have it right there. Okay, so that was the public IP address. Now, a computer has its own private IP address. All right. So, how do you find your private IP address? If you're on Windows, open your command prompt. If you're on a Mac, open your terminal. Okay, terminal is a place where you can do low level programming, correct? Be it terminal or command prompt. Look for command prompt on your computer or a terminal on a command prompt or terminal, whatever be the case. If you are using Windows, you have to type in ipconfig, or for me, I will be typing ifconfig. Ifconfig gives you a bunch of numbers. Among here is your private IP address. Mine is this one. Okay. For you, it might say IPv4 or IPv6 somewhere. All right, depending on what kind of computer you have. That is your private IP address. There are other ways of finding IP addresses but you will have to Google search. Okay, find out. There are many ways. Okay. Now, so that is address, the most basic address, one for your computer, which has a public one and a private one. Okay. Now, what is URL? URL is Uniform Resource Locator. That's what it is. When you type in this, that's called URL. It is actually a string. This is address of a website. Okay. Now, in this entire string, the middle part, this part, www.prenhall.com, it is called host name. It is address of a machine somewhere on the network. Behind the scene, network connections are established using a number known as IP address. So this, by the way, also refers to an IP address. So basically, look, computers don't know words, they know numbers. So addresses are given by such numbers. Notice 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 numbers. Each of these number is between 0 and 255. Okay. Now, so how do we translate from word name address to number address, right? Word address to number address. You have to send a query. Query means you have to send a question to a special computer called domain name server. Domain name servers is what is commonly called DNS. Okay. Here is how on your own computer you can find those IP addresses of various websites. I go to my terminal, you go to your command prompt, you simply say ping, P-I-N-G, the address. Say I want to find google.com, its IP address. You see, it is pinging, means it's knocking on the door. You see these numbers, that is the IP address of Google. Okay, how to stop pinging? Control C. Control C stops. Now I can copy and paste this address. Okay, write it here. Aha, it took me to google.com. Did you see that? Notice not all addresses can you successfully translate from IP address to the actual address. For example, ping www.bcc.cuny.edu. Okay, it doesn't let me ping for long, it kicks me out immediately. Okay, and that is because of security and such issues. All right, so I will go copy its IP address, BCC's IP address. Oops. Copy, paste. It got me there. All right. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they don't. What do you say? The security does not let me, or firewall does not let me. Okay. So anyhow, continuing. So that's how you get IP address for any website you are reaching. Okay. So that is the address computer understands. This is the word address is what we understand. Imagine if we had to remember these numbers for Google. That would be much harder. Google.com is much easier to remember. You understand? So, but computer understands numbers. So that's the address that a computer will understand. So such these addresses are called IP addresses. Okay. Now you have found several addresses. Okay. Now consider this long web address. Okay. Here, so this was the host, right? It was a machine, right? HTTP, what does HTTP represent? It represents a network protocol, okay, that will be used for the transmission of information. In this case, HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay, so this was some protocol. Protocol means a rule which tells you what that address, those numbers are supposed to mean. Okay, Networks are used to transmit information. The sender and receiver must have an agreement as to the particular format. Okay. So HTTP tells me I'm going to get certain information, data following this particular protocol. Because so many different protocols exist, a machine will often execute different software depending upon the data format being used. So which software should you use is given by the protocol that you give it. Okay. To help quickly segment in, so segment means separate out, right? Incoming network traffic according to the protocol. Each network connection to a remote machine must be designated at a specific port. So when you open your computer, a whole bunch of things are going on. See, you have the time, you have history and whatnot. I have several websites open. I'm using this. Okay, so a whole bunch of things are going on. So when I get a whole bunch of network traffic coming into my computer, that has to be separated out, and each um, information is connected to a specific port. Okay, so the traffic is separated and sent to specific ports. All right. How many ports are there? A whole bunch of action goes on when you open your computer. Go to your command prompt or the terminal and type the following: net stat -a space -b space -n. Look at that, a whole bunch of information, a whole bunch. So when you go to the top, looks like I will need to expand the screen for you to see what's there. It's better. When I go to the top, that's where I press that command. You see, this is my IP address. The one after that is a port. That is my IP address. That is another port. So these are the different port numbers that are presently being used. You see? So these are the port numbers that are presently being used. They are attached to my computer. All right. You will similarly find different port numbers being used. Okay. As long as you have administrative authority, you will see various ports attached to your computer. A computer port is a type of electronic software or programming related docking point, okay, through which information flows. So I hope this is clear, guys. Look, when we have a large number of, say, boats coming into at a river front, they cannot all go to one point. They get different ports. It's the same idea here. You have a lot of traffic coming into your computer. Each one gets assigned a different port. Okay. So a computer port is a type of electronic software or programming related docking point through which information flows from a program on your computer or to your computer from the internet. So either you are sending a program to the internet or internet is sending something to you. Or my computer is talking to, say, somebody else's computer sitting next to me. That can happen too. A network is a series of computers that are physically or electronically linked.